Hi, I'm Surpa from the Conveyancing Shop Lawyers. I just want to give you a little bit of information about purchasing a property at auction. Because at the moment in New Zealand, many properties, especially in the urban areas, are selling at auction. And the process of buying is quite different from if you were to put in an offer and buy by negotiation. Because at an auction, you need to do all of your homework prior to bidding, because once you raise your hand and bid at the auction, you're buying the property unconditionally. That means that you can't get out of it. So it's essential that you do all the checks beforehand. And there's 5 things that I always recommend clients check for every property they purchase. And the first is the title. So you need to understand if you're buying a freehold property, if it's leasehold, if it's a unit title, part of a body corporate. You also need to look at if there's any easements and covenants or restrictions that might affect what you plan to do with the property. So there's so many things that can pop up on a title. It's impossible to cover them all. But the important thing to remember is that you should just look over it with your lawyer so you're sure that you understand what you're getting. Now, the second thing you should check with every property is the LIM report. And for auctions, agents often will get the LIM report from the council and supply it to all the buyers so that they don't all have to fork out money to order a LIM report. And the LIM has all the information that the council has on file about a property, so it's very important to read it. You can also, it's a good thing to go through with your lawyer, but there is one thing missing on the LIM reports, and that is often the actual physical plans of the house. So in addition to getting a LIM report, we also suggest that you go and do a property bag inspection, and then you can actually see the physical plans of the house. And this is important to ensure that no unconsented work has been done, because quite often owners will just take out an internal wall or convert a garage into another bedroom or put a granny flat in the basement without the council's consent. And if the council doesn't know about this, it won't be in the LIM report. So the only way is comparing the physical property to what is in the plans. So the fourth thing that you need to check is the actual physical building. So you can get a building inspector to come out and have a look at the property and do all the tests like moisture level readings and whatever else they might recommend for the type of property. And building inspections can cost quite a bit. But you need to bear in mind that you're spending hundreds of thousands in Auckland, often well over $1 million on a property. So you want to be sure that you've covered the basics and made sure that there's not any real problems with the property. Of course, you can't ever be 100% sure, but a building inspector does know what to look out for and can often find things that you might have missed. So those are the first 4 things you need to check: was the title, the LIM report, the property bag, and the building report. And the 5th, last but not least, is finance. So it's very important to talk to your broker and make sure that you have finance approval prior to bidding at auction. I see a lot of clients who get pre-approval from their broker and then think that that's sufficient to go and bid at an auction, but it's not. The banks need to have a 2-tier approval process. So first they need to approve you as the buyer, but secondly they need to approve the property too. So you need to give all the information to your broker and let him have a look over it and give you written finance approval for that specific property before you go and bid. So buying at auction can be a little bit daunting, but if you follow the right procedure and do all the correct steps, then it's really pretty similar in the end to buying by negotiation, just that you have to do everything beforehand. Now, if you need any help going over the LIM reports, titles and all of that, please go and see your lawyer early on. Don't leave it until after you've signed or bid at auction, because it's a lot easier to identify problems beforehand rather than get you out of trouble down the track.